Hello, this is Emma from Cruise Addicted, and I'd like to share with you my recent visit to London. If you are considering a post or pre-cruise extension to your holiday, then London is the perfect choice. Great travel connections for Tilbury, Dover and Southampton Docks. We opted to stay at the Doubletree Hilton at Hyde Park and very close to Queensway tube station, meaning access in and out of the city was very easy. Very comfortable hotel, having all the facilities we needed for a short stay in the city. There's a fridge, tea and coffee making facilities, and if you run out of the coffee pods, just phone reception and they'll replace them. All the bath and shower products are really nice quality, which is useful if you don't want to unpack all your luggage to find your toilet bag. Doubletree Hilton also give you hot cookies on arrival, and these are really tasty. We downloaded the Hilton Honours app to our phone, and in becoming a member we managed to have a breakfast for £10 per person. Great selection of hot cooked breakfast items, cereals, toasts, jam, spreads, enough to keep you going for the full day of sightseeing. There's also a nice bar, so if you want to grab a nightcap before you head back to your room, if you're staying with friends, it's a nice spot, you can sit and have a drink here. So we took the tube down to Oxford Circus, where we had a wander around the streets, looked at Liberties of London, and then made our way through Carnaby Street, past Soho, and back across to Regent Street so we could connect up with Piccadilly Circus. This is Kingly Court that connects Carnaby Street back across to Regent Street with a selection of eateries and bars. The iconic screens of Piccadilly Circus. Great bus system around London, whether you choose to use a hop-on hop-off tour bus or just use your Google app, which we found very useful for getting around London. Statue of Eros. We wanted to grab afternoon tea while we were in London, but we didn't need it to be one of the expensive or singing or dancing specialities, so we opted to go to Fortnum & Mason and to visit the parlour, and they offer an afternoon tea for £22.95, and for that you can have a savoury course, whether it's the famous Scotch egg that was invented by Fortnum & Mason, or a Welsh rabbit or elegant rabbit, followed by a duo of scones with clotted cream and strawberry jam. Comes with a pot of tea, but if you want to be a little bit more extravagant, you can have a glass of champagne. Really nice afternoon tea, very tasty. Plus we got to explore the shopping supermarket for Buckingham Palace. So this is the beautiful Fortnum & Mason. Lots of souvenirs to be had here. The Royal Blend teas. Fortnum & Mason is very famous for the teas. Also they do very nice cookies that you can take away in a presentation tin. Mr. Fortnum and Mr. Mason. So this is us in the parlour enjoying a glass of champagne. My husband went for the pot of tea. This is the famous Scotch egg. We also had the elegant rabbit, which comes with bacon, and the duo of scones with the clotted cream and jam. I say scone, you say scone. So whether you want to use the underground or to explore London on foot, it's very easy to get around. So we went through Chinatown, which is absolutely beautiful. Some pubs or eateries here if you want to try some local fare. From here we can walk to Trafalgar Square, where you can see the famous tower with Lord Nelson watching over the city. So it's a very impressive sight. I love the aeroplane just flying past there. This is Horse Guards, which very famous for all royal parades. Onto Downing Street along Whitehall and the Cenotaph, used for the memorial services in November. Crossing the road over to the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben leading us over to Westminster Bridge. Crossing over the bridge, we find ourselves on the South Bank and underneath the Great London Eye. Here you will also find the London Dungeons. Great place to take photographs of the Thames looking back across to Big Ben. This is a doppelganger. It's not the real door of number 10, but you'll find it in Covent Garden if you look hard enough. And there are streets that will take you back to the time of Charles Dickens. This is Covent Garden. There is a market, lots of eateries, pubs, cocktail bars and street entertainers here. Beautiful, colourful Neal's Yard can be found in Covent Garden. Sit here, watch the world go by, sip a nice glass of wine or just generally explore. Absolutely beautiful. Finished our day with a lovely steak supper. Perfect way to finish a great day exploring. This is Outernet at Tottenham Court Tube Station. Just a crazy LED light display. The tubes are very easy to navigate. They're very clean, well looked after, the stations and the trains, so there was no issue moving around London. We use Google to get around London with the buses, again really easy. So I used Get to Your Guide to book tickets on a river cruise, which was the ideal way to actually get from Westminster Bridge up to the Tower of London, where we also had day tickets because we wanted to see the Crown Jewels. 30-minute cruise down the Thames. The driver gave a really good description of the buildings we were seeing, the history of some of the buildings, very informative and very entertaining. Here we are arriving at the Tower of London. And beautiful Tower Bridge with the Sky Garden just behind it on the right. We arrived at the tower at 11 o'clock in the morning, and just perfect timing really, because we were able to join one of the yeoman guards for a tour of the tower. They gave you all the history about the 6 wives of Henry VIII and the other various torture stories that have happened here in the tower in the past. Very educational, very informative and very comical. He had a very good sense of humour. So I highly recommend, if you bought tickets for the Tower of London, these are included tours, so make sure you join on to one of them.
Let's try it again, shall we? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning!
Welcome to His Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London, which actually is listed as a World Heritage Site. My name's Yeoman Sergeant John Donald, and my full title is I'm a Yeoman Ward of His Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London, Yeoman Guardian Extraordinary. That's a bit of a mouthful. Let's call it simple. My name's John.
We had to queue for about 30 minutes to be able to see the Crown Jewels, and because of the upcoming coronation of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, 2 of the crowns were actually missing as being resized, but what we did see was absolutely stunning. Be sure to pop into the chapel and you can see the graves of Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard and Lady Jane Grey, all buried within the chapel. Lots of history on show, whether it's the armour, the weapons, the torture chamber, it's all there. We spent 3 hours there and had a really great time, well worth seeing. Just less than a mile across London Bridge, you'll come to Borough Market, whether you want to buy delicatessen stuff to take away, or just to taste the samples of the food that are being offered, whether it's paella or local caught oysters. There's all sorts of things available here: cheeses, seafood, meats. You can sit and have lunch, just watch the world go past. An absolutely incredible market. This is Borough Market. We're with our friends from New York and they wanted traditional British fish and chips. So we found the oldest fish and chip shop in London called the Rock and Soul Place, established in 1951. The fish and chips was really good. So day 3 in London, we head to the financial district so we can see the Bank of England, but mainly because we have sunrise passes at the Sky Garden. I pre-purchased for £8.50 the sunrise passes, which includes a hot beverage and a pastry, but it meant we could go in earlier in the day. So you can go in at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 9 or at 10. If you want to go in later in the day, then these tickets are free. You apply for them 3 weeks in advance. There are some of the most spectacular views from the balcony of the Sky Garden, but you could just sit and have a cup of tea and a cake. There are restaurants up there as well, and if you want to go in the evening, there is a cocktail bar and restaurants for an evening meal. Some great views of the Shard and just generally across London here. Looking down on Tower Bridge and the Tower of London where we were yesterday. Very close to the Sky Garden you'll find St Paul's Cathedral. Friends from America wanted to have a traditional Sunday lunch, so we had booked an English pub where we could have roast beef, roast pork with all the trimmings. Really nice. So we caught the bus back to Buckingham Palace where we bid farewell to our friends from America and we head home. This was 2 nights in London, lots of sightseeing and a really great way to see the city. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.